Hello there, boys and girls, and all of those in between. My name is Maliena Bitchcock, and welcome to Bitch Talk with Bitchcock, my very own talk show where I get to interview some of the best entertainers from all over. This week, I get one of my very favorite girls all the way from Southern Oregon, the one and only Ren Agade.
Hi!
Hey,
Thanks for
bitch,
having
how
me.
you doing?
I'm doing good. Just gaining that quarantine 15.
Oh my goodness, girl, I hear you. I think my boobies are just getting bigger and bigger. Ow!
Mine too. I'm like almost an F.
Yes, queen. Well, are you surviving quarantine over there?
I am. They canceled my job, and so I've just been a couch potato, watching Netflix and chilling. Doing that parking lot show at Climate City, getting ready for shit to open back up so I can start doing my gigs again.
Yes, queen. Well, I totally love it. And why don't we just get into the interview and get to know you a little bit, Ren? First and foremost, when did you actually first get that urge to want to do drag?
Well, in high school, I dabbled in theater, musical theater, and I think my senior year, so 2009, 2010 is when I really got interested in a character. I started out as Cherry Daiquiri with a little blonde wig and a flapper dress, and I thought I was the shit. And then I kind of took a hiatus. I started a family. I had some kids, and
Wait, you have
then
some kids? You have kids?
yeah, I have 2 daughters.
Oh my gosh. And how do they know about Ren, or is it a...
Oh, they know about Ren. Why hide something that you love? So my girls completely know about Renegade and fully support it. They think that I'm a princess when I'm around them, and I love it. But I took a little hiatus when I had my girls, and I got a divorce, found myself again, and so 2016, Renegade.
Well, perfect. That was actually my next question. Tell me a little bit at one point when Ren was actually born.
So in 2016, I got casted as Frankfurter in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I was getting some pretty good coin doing that, and I thought, okay, well, if I can do this in front of a whole bunch of people in my underwear, I could wear some actual clothes and put on a wig and make a career out of it.
Well, kinda. Trying to make a
Kinda.
career out of drag is kind of a hard thing to do, especially this day and age where everyone's doing drag. So
Right.
you kind of have to go in there with an open heart and really hope to just have fun. And then if you make the dime on the side, it's an extra bonus.
Correct.
Well, perfect, Ben. Oh, perfect, babe. Now, you mentioned to me earlier, Ren, that you kind of took that hiatus and you kind of started a family. What made you want to fully step away from drag? I mean, especially it looks like you're a very open person that isn't afraid to kind of combine those worlds.
At first I was just newly married, and my ex really wasn't into me dressing up and portraying a female character. And so I took a break on their part and on my own. Raising a baby is hard enough as a cis straight person, let alone a drag queen.
Oh my gosh. And, at this point, you said your first time actually coming out as Renegade was performing as Frankenfurter at the Rocky Horror Picture Show, correct?
Yeah, it was. So I did that. I also choreographed and helped direct it. It was interesting. We did 2 nights, and it's in front of the screen, so the movie's playing behind us, and we're lip syncing. And so at the end of it, people were just coming up to me and telling me I was doing such a great job and how awesome I was and how they'd like to see more of me, and a star was born.
Oh, more like a monster was born. Oh my! Oh!
Whatever you want to call it.
Well, it's the proper thing, I think. So, well, girl, I'm so happy to hear that we have you in the drag scene and we're getting to kind of know Renegade because she is a very fierce queen. And like me, you come from Southern Oregon, which we know comes with a whole bunch of struggles, but we'll definitely get into that a little bit more later. Now, I love that you started with the Rocky Horror Picture Show as Renegade because the first time ever meeting you, I actually came to a show of the Rocky Horror Picture Show back in the day when Diva Disaster used to host, and you played Brad that year.
Yes, I remember that. That was my senior year, and that's when I started like dabbling with Cherry, and it kind of went into the hiatus.
Okay. Now, tell me, because specifically you have worked a lot with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Does that specific play or production actually mean anything to you?
I grew up watching it. My mom always played it on Halloween. It was a staple in my home growing up. So when I found a shadow cast, it was like second nature to just kind of try out for it. And then I got to play some of the best roles. Like Brad is a great role. Frank is superb. I got to understudy for Magenta, and that was awesome too. Like it just opened up so many doors for me and let me express myself in a way that I couldn't do doing a regular show. Like if I was doing the Music Man, I wasn't gonna get all up in face and put on some lipstick and a wig and a corset. And so it started something. It lit a fire under my ass.
Oh, girl, I always say that once you get that taste of drag, it's like the worst addiction you can ever get. It can take over your whole fucking life. Ah!
Oh, I
So,
know, it's like heroin.
oh, girl, it's worse sometimes, I swear. Now,
Spend
I know
more
that you
money.
have, huh?
You spend more money on it. No.
That's true. It's definitely probably more expensive, but girl, you do have quite the theater background, as you've mentioned. How do you feel like that theater background has actually helped your drag?
I did a lot of dance classes in high school, so I feel like that's kind of helped me. I over articulate a lot. Thanks to Kate Skudstad, thank you. She taught me how to use my mouth. It's helped
Oh,
me more
really?
than just on stage, Queen. Yes,
Use your
exactly.
mouth.
So I overemphasize, over articulate. I'm into dancing. I'm not afraid to do tricks. I like to jump off things. That's my favorite thing to do, is jumping off a table.
Well, how are you at bringing like the theater influence to the drag stage? Do you like bringing Broadway or any of your favorite musicals to life?
So I do like to bring Broadway to the stage. I don't bring it every show because it gets kind of old after a while, but I like to mix it up. I like to throw in a Broadway number here and a Broadway number there. And um, sometimes I do theme shows. Like I would like to get one together with some Broadway queens eventually and do a whole Broadway themed show.
I love
So
that. One of my
working on
first
it.
shows when I started coming to Eugene was an actual Broadway theme show. And I did a performance from Avenue Q, and I think I did like a number from Cabaret from Liza Minnelli.
Ooh,
Yes.
yeah.
So my love, why don't you actually tell us and the audience the first time you actually saw a drag show?
The first time I saw a drag show was actually I had met a few drag queens out of drag, you and another friend of ours, and it kind of went into us going to this bar in Medford, and that was my first time really seeing one. And I was pretty young, like.
Well, yeah, you mentioned you were young. Now, I don't know if I want to ask because this might incriminate me and the other person who is watching. And of course, we started back in Southern Oregon in a little Mexican nightclub. There was a small group of us drag queens, and it was the only place you could go to see drag. And how old were you when you told us you wanted to go to a drag show, and we said, sure, we'll get you in?
um 17.
Okay, maybe it was the other one's fault. I had nothing to do with that. I'm
Yeah, definitely the other
completely
one's fault.
unresponsible.
Nothing to do.
Well, girl, I love it so much. Now, at this point, we have this amazing queen that we call Renegade. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that character that is Ren?
So Renegade is a triple G. She's garbage, gore, and glamour. I like to mix things up. One day you may see me in a plastic bag. The next day you may see me in an elegant gown. I tend to stick to a lot of darker colors because it makes me look a little more slimming.
I get it, girl. I get it. Now
I'm kind of salty. Like, at first I thought it was shady, but it ended up being a little salty.
Hey, salty is shady, girl. Salty's actually worse than shady because salty actually means you're upset about shit.
I wouldn't call it upset.
It sounds like young bitter queen syndrome to me, young lady. You just need a spanking.
Yes, and I'm growing up from that. So I used to be kind of bitter, and now I'm finding myself and I'm reinventing Renegade. Quarantine was a great time to do that, so I'm taking advantage of that.
Absolutely. And now you've mentioned that you describe yourself as garbage, gore, and glamour. Do you ever consider yourself kind of a drag monster, kind of like the Dragula approach with your drag?
I wouldn't necessarily call myself a monster. I do like to go into that gory look. I like to do skeletons. I like to wear a little blood on my face, have some blood in my mouth, let it drip out. But I don't always like to do that. So no, I wouldn't consider myself a monster. I just have multiple personalities.
Oh my God, the best of us do. That's what makes it so interesting, girl. Well, honey, I love that so, so much. Now, what is your personality once you put the makeup and the makeup and wig on? Like, I know you mentioned you get a little shady, but what's the personality like once you become Ren?
I'm bubbly. I'm a fun time. I'm life of the party. I like to drink. I like to chit chat. I love to host a show. What else? I like to flirt with strangers.
Oh, now you're talking my language.
I like to take off my clothes. So I got a gig doing burlesque bingo that you used to do, so I could strip a little bit.
We'll talk about that soon, I'm sure.
But I'm sure.
I'm happy that you're, feeling good with yourself and you kind of have a direction that you're going. Now, where do you think you get some of your inspiration for your drag character? Are there any pop icon characters or fellow queens that help inspire you?
So Susan Sarandon for sure. I also really enjoy like Rebel Wilson. She's loud and obnoxious, so am I. Fran Drescher, the Golden Girls, of course you. I'm compared to you a lot.
Whatever. I am not an inspiration. I'm just a bitch.
You really are. Like, you started down here and you made your way to the top. Not the very tippy top, but you're climbing that mountain, girl.
Well, baby, thank you. I appreciate that. It's good to hear that I'm at least inspiring someone because, when you're 36 years old and you've been doing this 15 years, you're like, some days you wake up, you're like, why the fuck am I doing this?
I feel ya.
Well, I love that you're inspired from some of the more classic characters from like the 80s and 90s. I love that you mentioned like the Golden Girls and like Fran Drescher from The Nanny. But like, girl, aren't those some older references for you? What are you, like 25?
I'm actually 28. But I grew up with my grandmother and we watched that kind of TV, and Nick at Night was a really big thing in my life. Like, I would stay up past my bedtime. I was supposed to be in bed by 8. I was watching TV at 11, clicking through the channels.
Girl, I hear all of that. One of my favorite things to do was wait for my parents to go to bed, turn on Lifetime, watch the Golden Girls and the Nanny back to back. And girl, that was my life.
See, that 11 to 1. time slot. It was great.
You know, and speaking of some of those shows, they do have quite shady characters. I mean, if we look back at the Golden Girls, I mean, those bitches were ruthless. And then you go back to the nanny, and, you know, it wasn't necessarily Fran that was shady, but the fucking butler. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness. Now, would you say any of those classic TV shows have helped develop the shady queen you are now?
I definitely do. I take a page from Blanche Devereaux's book every time I'm a little intoxicated,
What's
zipping
that, you
down
end up in
and
a stranger's car?
ha ha ha. I don't kiss and tell.
Well, I will, girl. I'll kiss and tell and lick all over. Well,
Oh,
I
I
have,
believe that.
well, you know me well enough to know that I would, girl. Well, I do love that you have a very unique look to you. In fact, tonight you're giving me Space Goddess, a little Barbarella. I love it.
Thanks.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the drag style that is Renegade?
So, like I said before, I'm a little gothic, a little Broadway, a little country because that's what the people in my community like. I like to just have fun. I've been trying some new colors recently. I've got a color pop going on. I bought some new wigs recently. I'm gonna try some new hair out. So I usually go from dark, but now I'm gonna go for some colors. So let's see how it works.
I don't know. Yeah, I think you could kind of do both. I mean, when you look at characters such as like Elvira, even like Peg Bundy, there was always like an edginess to them, but at the same time, there's always something that popped about them, either their makeup or their style. So you could still be colorful and over the top and still be a dark princess. Mm.
Yeah, and I'm learning to play with that.
Yeah. So what kind of looks like are you tend to be attracted to, and can we expect to see you in stage? Do you like more like ball gowns? Do you wear a lot of dance jumpsuits? Or are you just more of a comfortable dress and go dress kind of girl?
Lately I've been into jumpsuits. I found different ways to love my body.
Ooh, I
So I've been
suggest a
doing a lot of those.
dildo.
What?
You said you found different ways to love your body. I was going to suggest a dildo.
Who? That's my number one. But so I've been wearing a lot of bodysuits. I've also been doing some ball gowns, you know, being involved with the court. I have to look my best. So I've been getting a few of those. When I first started, it was a lot of vintage stuff or stuff that I had made. Like I would make outfits out of cardboard and then wear them around with some googly eyes on a bra and call it a look.
Okay, Mr. Potato Head Realness. I love it. Well, I think it's fierce. That at least shows some creativity on your part, which some of us queens lack at times. So don't ever underestimate using your mind and just using the scraps around you, because that really shows what you're actually capable of. Now, if you were to be able to go into a magic Goodwill in the sky, Miss Renegade, where there is a fabulous store with everything you can imagine, and of course, everything's free, what would you hope you could get that would elevate your drag?
I really like dresses that look like vintage couches. That's my new obsession.
What do you mean? Like, tell me more. I'm curious.
So like those big old bold patterns of like the flowers, maybe some crushed velvet on there, like browns and reds, and like a folly kind of couch. I
Oh,
don't know.
okay. I love some vintage realness. Now, you've mentioned earlier in the interview that you have, since quarantine, been packing some looks up and getting ready for the bars to open up. What can we expect you to looking like once we actually get back into the real world?
Well, like I said, I got a whole bunch of new colors of hair. I bought some new bodysuits. Like I told you, I gained the quarantine 15.
Oh,
So more to love with Renegade nowadays. I bought some double stacked hair that I want to try out. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm just trying to evolve. I'm like a fucking Pokemon.
well, girl, I mean, you're still pretty young in your drag character as Ren. How old is Ren at this point?
So 2016 is a 4.
So she's 4, and you're still just evolving, correct?
Right. And I think the court system has really helped me push that bar of evolving faster. Like, I look at pictures from May of last year when I stepped up as my title, and I was a hot mess express. And now I can at least hold my own. I host my own shows. I produce shows. I travel constantly. So it's just watching myself grow has been such an experience that, like, I don't I don't know. I'm rambling.
You're allowed to ramble, bitch. This is your moment. It's allowed to be as silly or weird as you want, love. Now just relax and have fun with me because, bitch, this is just a good old-fashioned kiki between girls who've known each other.
Right?
Well, honey, that's fantastic. Tell me a little bit what we are to expect from a Renegade performance.
What you can expect from a Renegade performance, I will always be on my knees, legs for days, a mouthful of sarcasm and wit,
Oh,
and just a good time. I like to kiki with my sisters, and I like to have people that are in my corner at my shows, and I like to give the experience.
and I've seen you do some crazy things on stage. I've definitely seen you get a little sexual. I've seen you do death drops at times. And I think at one point you even dressed like a pregnant nun.
I did. So my friend who just had a baby 2 days ago, Tyler Cockwell.
Yes, give them a big shout out, Mr. or Lovebug.
Hi, Draven. Hi, baby. I love them so much. So yeah, I did a fundraiser show for them. That was on the Steve Colbert show. It was mentioned on the Steve Colbert show. Yeah.
What?
I'm on national television.
Your show got advertised on national television?
Yeah, they thought it was kooky. I thought it was a great idea, and we had a ton of fun doing it. And it was for a local queen who needed some things.
Yes, and didn't you also get the one of the dads from Modern Family who he was actually interviewing talk about it along with him?
Yeah, so Ty Burrell is who actually introduced the whole show on the Steve Colbert show. He was being interviewed. He's from Southern Oregon.
Mm-hmm. He's so
yeah,
hot,
I know.
too.
I'm like, what's your address? I'll drive right over.
Oh my God, you're such a whore. You must really take that from an old raunchy queen from Southern Oregon.
I learned from the best.
Well, damn right. Now, bitch, what kind of music are you known for performing to? Do you like more hot, jazzy, fast-going music, or do you like to slow it down and kind of get glamorous?
I like fast-going music. I like a lot of pop. Like I said, I do some country songs down here in Southern Oregon because that's what the community wants. I'm into doing Broadway numbers. I've been really into Mean Girls lately. That's been my shit.
Oh my God, that's so fetch.
Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Oh my God, this is my show. I'll do what I want. Hopefully I don't get hit by a bus. Well, perfect, girl. I love that you are just so kooky and spooky and altogether wokey. So, are you known for doing any dance moves or tricks when you're on stage?
I jump from tables, like I said. I like to go drop to my knees. I can do a death drop. I'm really good at voguing.
Oh my God, you like to Vogue? Yes, Madonna, get it.
Let's do some hands. I've been doing some TikToks recently.
Okay.
So
You're young. How are you understanding the TikTok these days?
So I learned if you want to do the dances, to start as a duet, slow it down, learn to dance, and then get rid of the bitch.
Oh.
Yeah, and then you slow down your music for when you record, so you do the same moves at the same speed as you learned it at. And then when you're done, it all goes back to the same speed. So then you look like you're doing it normal.
Oh my God, I didn't even know you could do that. That shows how old I am because I go on TikTok and I'm like, okay, hi, I'm just gonna lip sync, blah, 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 blah. I'm pretty.
I'll teach you some tricks.
Damn right, girl. And in exchange, I'll give you some tricks. Ooh.
Ooh.
Well,
Sounds
I
like a
love
good time to
it.
meet.
So speaking of, you are a funny queen. You're witty. You are able to give a comment off the tip of your tongue. Um, do you consider to ever bring humor to the stage?
Um, when I try to be funny, I'm not.
Okay.
So
So
it
what
just comes out when it wants to, but when I actually like sit down and try to be comedic, it it flops.
well, tell us a little bit like what Ren's sense of humor is actually like then.
So like I said before, I'm salty, I'm kind of shady. I I'm quick-witted, so I really like to just come up with things on the fly. The more I drink, the better I get. Um,
Okay.
so that's kind of what Renegade is. That's her personality. That's her style.
Okay, I mean, you can't be too serious. I mean, you dressed up as a pregnant nun. That's fucking hilarious. Now, do you ever like want to do things with props? I mean, the best thing about being a queen is making people laugh, girl. That's why I look like this.
So sometimes I do use props. Like I've created a car out of cardboard. I created those lips out of cardboard. Um, I'm a really crafty queen. I like to use what I have and uh, use all of my resources. I don't have a lot of money, and I don't think every queen necessarily does. And you have to use what's in your corner at the moment. So if you have a cardboard box, cut it up, paint it, and put it on your body because it's a look. May not be a good one.
Absolutely, my love. And you always use with what you got, and that's what shows your creativity, as I mentioned before. Now, as a newer queen, Ren, you are definitely kind of newer to the drag scene. You've been doing it for 4 years, though. Do you tell me about some of the hardships you've faced being a fresher queen on the scene?
So when I when I first started, it was kind of quiet, and now that I've made a name for myself, it's kind of picked up. I do a lot more traveling. I do more stuff involved with the core, and also just more things with other local queens in the valley. And since making a name for myself, I've become more in the community's eye. So I've gotten protesters,
Mm.
and they followed me up and down all of Oregon. And they come to almost all of my shows, and it's just like that's probably my biggest hardship as a newer queen is being so involved with drag is I'm constantly under a microscope and being sought after by people who don't like what I do.
Right. And that's definitely hard, especially when you're starting this piece of art to try to feel accepted and to try to find yourself as a person. Now, there are people who are always going to try to tear us down, and I'm sorry that the protesters tend to focus on you specifically because I feel like they do know that you're kind of fresher on the scene, so they know they can pick on you. Now, tell me a little bit. Do you feel, because this is how I personally feel about it. Now, far as I've known you, they have not missed a show of yours, correct?
No, they haven't. And I am a respectful person
Mm-hmm.
in and out of drag. And so when they're screaming at my audience or screaming at me, I turn the other cheek. Who am I to judge you and who are you to judge me? That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to give a show to my audience who support me and love me. And so I tell my audience, do not engage. They will go away. Like, pay them no mind, and no mind will be paid.
Yes, honestly, girl, I bet you they are secretly in love with you and they are your number one fans and they just don't know how to admit it. So maybe you should just get them some t-shirts made, say number one fans, and you know what? That will solve everything.
Why do you think that nun was pregnant?
Ooh, girl. You a naughty, naughty, naughty girl. So how do you like actually working with some of the other drag or queer performers on the drag scene?
I enjoy it, I enjoy working with an older queen because you get to gain some knowledge and learn how to respect an older queen. It's a different tug and pull there. I also enjoy working with newer queens, the green queens who haven't really done anything. I love to give a platform in my own shows for people who have never performed before, who would like to get a taste of drag. I try to open it up to them. I've met some of my best Judies doing this. Stephanie and Calliope and you, of course, Diva, Chartreuse. I've met some of the greatest people that I've probably ever gotten a chance to meet, and without doing drag, I wouldn't have got to meet those people, and so I'm grateful for it every day.
I think drag does so many magical things that people don't realize. People who either feel insecure or even people like yourself who maybe be in small towns and may not have the opportunity to meet people, you start drag and it opens up a whole new world for you. You get a whole new group of friends, you get a sisterhood you don't expect, and you also get a fan base. So I feel like drag also is a form of magic that allows you to kind of transform your life from what it once was into like a Cinderella story.
It truly is. And like my drag character and my actual persona as a person outside of drag are completely different. And so when I put on this wig and I put on this makeup and I put on these fake body parts and I get all done up, like, it makes you feel different. It makes you talk different, walk different, act different. And so it is magical. It's truly like going in through the closet of Narnia and walking out the Snow Queen.
Oh, girl, we don't go back in the closet. We busted out of that years ago. Well, I love it, girl. Now, do you ever feel like you're supported by the other queens and drag performers within the community?
I've found my fair share of support. Yeah, there's always gonna be haters, but like the people in my corner are very strong. I'm just so grateful for all of them. Darby and Calliope, like I said, and it's just amazing because I don't have a great relationship with my normal family. Like, my mom and me, we're starting to get along, and my siblings and I, we don't talk, but being able to find a family within this drag community has been so amazing. Like, I have a drag wife. Calliope is my drag wife, and she's got a ton of kids. I have two.
That just clearly says you need to wear a drag condom when you're around that bitch. Otherwise,
dental therapist
pop out. Well, I love it. And, I've known you for so long, Ren, and it's so weird to see this 16-year-old boy that I once met turn into this fabulous creature that's sitting here before me and, sitting on an episode of Bitch Talk with Bitchcock, where I interview, again, some of the best performers. And here you are in front of me, girl. So, I mean, it's a moment to just applaud yourself and think, look how far you've come.
Well, thank you. It's a never-ending process. I'm constantly trying to find new things to do, new looks to give, new new songs to perform. And if someone says, oh, I don't know what to do in drag, they're a fucking liar, because there's so many goddamn things that you could do. So many things. And like, one of my favorite things to do when I get home, I'm still in makeup, I take off my wig, I take off my body, I put on my headphones and I just listen to music that like I typically don't listen to. And then I find my next set for my next show. Like, it's just such a it gives you so many creative juices to work with. Like, drag is not stagnant, I'll tell you that much.
It shouldn't be, never. You know, honey, I have been doing this 15 years, and I have started one end of the drag spectrum where I used to want to be an impersonator and also try to look like a real girl and try to be pretty. And now I'm at this opposite end where I'm just kind of a clown, where I'm still very high fashion. And I feel like I've found my place in the drag world. You know, you never know where you're going to be 15 years from now. And
Yeah, and it's a roller coaster. You have to find yourself. You have to work with your face. And, you know, your face is changing all the time. And people are changing all the time. So why shouldn't your drag change?
well, absolutely, you know, especially when you know you're a fresher on the scene and you feel like you have things to learn. I mean, like you mentioned before, kind of learning and soaking up the information from some of those older queens or the more experienced queens on the scene is kind of the way to do it, because you're going to kind of learn little tricks and things to do that's really going to make either getting your makeup on easier or styling hair, you know, get some tricks, and then it really can help you. So I think, girl, you're doing great where you are, but I think in 15 years you're going to be a fucking shining star.
Well, thanks. I hope so.
Absolutely. I mean, look at me, a small town queen. 15 years later, she has her own fucking talk show. Who fucking knew? Well, speaking of small town queens, we both have in common that we both come from Southern Oregon. Tell me a little bit about being a small town queen.
Um, it has its moments, definitely. I've gotten to create something beautiful. I produce my own shows here in Grants Pass, and I just currently, during quarantine, during my parking lot show, acquired another monthly show that I'll be doing after June. And so it's been interesting. There's not as much as there is in, say, Portland, Seattle, New York, LA, San Francisco, even Eugene. So unless you're producing a show, you aren't doing a show here.
Well, it's true. I mean, I started off and maintained my drag career for many years in Southern Oregon. And as something you said that's so true is you have to produce your own shows to make them happen, because it's not like Eugene or Portland where regular drag shows are happening left and right and you can just say, "Hey, can I get a booking?" You actually have to put your ass out there and make those shows happen. And that's what I had to do. That's what Diva has to do. And it makes me so happy that you're showing that same ambition and making your shit happen, bitch.
Well, no one else is gonna hold my hand and do it for me, so
Well, we will, but we'll just lead you into traffic.
that bus.
Yeah. So tell me, you mentioned you do travel also to Portland and Eugene quite a bit to do drag. How do the Portland and Eugene queens treat you? Do you feel like they don't take you seriously at all because you are a small town queen?
Um, the queens in Eugene take me pretty seriously. Like, I've shown them that I'm a force to be reckoned with. Am I the best? No. Am I the worst? Definitely not. Portland, it's a little harder. There's a drag queen on every fucking corner, so there you really have to like outshine yourself. I've done a few Portland shows. Don't get me wrong. Am I a favorite of Portland? No, I'm not. And I think as I get more known and as I get more polished, I will become someone who can perform in Portland regularly, but right now I'm just starting to build my platform and people are just starting to recognize that.
And that's okay, Love Bug. I mean, again, as you mentioned, this drag scene's so saturated with drag that there's a drag queen on every corner. You can go to at least 6 different drag brunches downtown Portland. So you really just have to work for it and show them your ambition and show them what you're capable of. So I'm happy that you keep just working your ass off because that's what's going to get you famous. Now, I know you have produce several shows. Why don't you tell me about some of the shows that you do actively produce and some of the queens that come down and you feature?
Okay, so I produce a monthly show at Vice Brewing in Grants Pass, Oregon, and it's a newer venue. We started doing shows about 8 months ago there. I do it on the 3rd Friday or 3rd Saturday of the month.
Mm-hmm.
I bring queens from all over the Pacific Northwest. I've had Bitchcock, I've had Coco Gem Holiday, I've had Stephanie A. Mercury Experience DuPont. I've had Natasha Blackwell, I've had Miss Darby Doll, I've had countless queens come and do shows for me. And it's just been so humbling that people want to do my show. Because that's another big part of drag is if you aren't nice, people aren't going to want to do your shows. And, or if you don't pay your queens, people aren't going to want to do your shows. Or if you don't have a dressing room, people aren't going to want to do your shows. So you have to give those things for people to want to come. So having some big names come and do my shows, it's been amazing because 4 years ago, me thinking, oh, I'm gonna produce a badass show with Coco and Maliena and a whole bunch of queens from all over, and it's gonna be successful. I never thought that for myself, and you know, being a small town queen, you just have to keep pushing yourself, pushing along, riding that train. Whatever you got to tell yourself to get up in the morning and get your ass in check, like, do it because it's going to pay off in the long run.
Yes, and I agree with everything you're saying, honey. And honestly, I wish some of these bigger city queens, even Eugene queens, would understand the extra struggle you have to go through as a small town queen because not everything's going to be handed to you. You're not going to have the same amount of opportunities. And if you do want to perform with some of these bigger names and get those contacts so you can bring them to your area, you actually have to travel down there. And I mean, I know you've actually fucking rode Greyhounds for 4 hours just to come and do a show in Eugene before.
Ain't no shame in my game.
Not at all, love. In fact, that's one reason I respect you. And, you know, you always ask me, Maliena, why do you, like, support me so much? Why do you really believe in me? And it's because, bitch, you finally put the work behind it. And when you want to start getting an older queen's respect, fucking work for it. Like, work, work, work. And then us older queens will be like, bitch, you are doing good. Let's put you in this show. So I'm proud of you. And I'm very proud of some of the things you've overcome. And you know, like I said, it's not easy to have shows where you have protesters and people who are kind of against you at times.
No, it's not easy, but you just have to make the best of every situation. Like,
Absolutely.
positive. My glass is always half full.
Oh, no, it's not. It's completely full with vodka.
It's going over.
Well, tell us a little bit about these parking lot shows you're doing recently now that quarantine's been happening.
So I got really bored being in my bedroom, and I saw that other queens were finding other ways to do shows, either virtually or at their house or traveling to other people's homes or whatever they had to do to express their art. And that's exactly what drag is. It's an art, and I needed to express mine. I was going stir crazy at my home, and So I had contacted a local venue, Climate City Brewing, and they had agreed to let me do a show as long as I had a speaker and everyone stayed in their cars. And so we did a social distance pop-up drag show. I advertised it one day before because I didn't want to get shut down. And I had fun with it. The parking lot was full of people. It's what the community needed and wanted. I did another one a week later involving a few other queens. It got more notice and more people came. It's then evolved into me doing a monthly brunch there now. And also, while quarantine's still in effect, we're going to try to get a drive-in movie theater in Grants Pass for, hopefully, for at least one show. So we'll see. We'll see. Have things in the works.
Oh my goodness, I love an ambitious queen who is fighting to the top to be seen. I love it so much. And I bet you some of those people who came to this drive-in show, I mean, again, these are hard times, Red. And, you know, we're getting depressed being stuck at home. I think it's very fabulous that you're going out there and creating, even if it's a space for them just to pull into a parking lot, sit in their car, and watch you. It's allowing them just to have a little bit of glitter and a little bit of fabulousness in their life for, you know, even if it's for 30 minutes, allows them to forget about the bullshit going on around them.
Right, and I think everyone needs that kind of outlet, especially being locked up at home. Like, if you don't have an outlet, you're going to think about the things that bother you, and whether it's reaching out to a friend, doing a talk show with Bitchcock, or even going to the store for your grandmother. Like, just the little things right now are so fulfilling, and just reach out. If you're having trouble right now, just reach out to someone. Reach out to me, reach out to Bitchcock, reach out to your mom, to anyone, because we're all fighting together. We may be alone, but we're in this together.
Baby, that is so completely honest and truthful that, you know, we're all struggling, and there's a lot of us who find this whole situation harder than others, and, you know, find it hard to communicate that, or even don't know if people want to listen to them. But I'm going to tell you a secret. There's always someone that wants to listen to you, and there's someone who's going to be there for you. So if you are struggling or you're seeking hard times right now, again, reach out to a drag sister, reach out to a friend. They are here for you in these very severe times. Now, my love, I know that you've even been dabbling, as you've mentioned, with the fabulous art of burlesque.
I have been, you know, I have a really nice set of titties, and I thought, why not share them with the world? I've learned little tips and tricks to make my body look really feminine, and it's been an honor to work with some of these burlesque girls, because not a lot of drag queens get to work with them.
Well, I mean, I did.
Well, you're also a hoe like me.
Well, you know, and also I'm like best friends with the queen of burlesque, Ms. Darby Doll, who is
Me too, I love her.
Yeah, she's your drag and burlesque mother, and I love that. Now, tell me a little bit how you like doing how you like doing burlesque performance compared to a traditional drag performance.
It's completely different. With burlesque, you don't have to know your words because you're focusing on your body, you're focusing on the costume, the elegance of your fingertips and your footwork, and giving a show that way. When you're a drag queen, it's all about that face, all about big expression. And burlesque, you gotta slow it down. It's different. It's cute, real cute. But it's opened up other doors for me. Like, it's made me become more body positive and appreciate a girl of a bigger stature, or even a male of a bigger stature. So that's fun.
Absolutely. I love burlesque because, again, it's completely different than your traditional drag. You can kind of get in touch with your natural body and kind of play with costuming because that's the thing about burlesque. It includes timing and knowing when to take what piece of clothing off at what time. And you really have to time out your full number. So it can be a lot more complicated than like your average drag show. But I love that you're dabbling in that. Now, do you ever find it a struggle to find your place as a drag queen working with, all these burlesque girls? Do you find them all accepting at all?
Um, like I said, not everyone's gonna think that I'm their cup of tea. Um, it is hard. I don't have my boobs are fake.
Mine
My
too.
boobs are real. My boobs are real fake. Like, so it is different because people in the audience are expecting you to have boobs in their face and big ol' hips. And after I take off some of these costume pieces, you can see that I am a drag performer doing this. And so it's been hard, but a lot of the performers that do burlesque have been very accepting. One of Miss Darby's rules is that anybody can do burlesque.
Yes. And, I've sadly, within the burlesque community at times have faced girls who are like, well, I don't really think drag queens belong in the burlesque world. And I completely disagree. I feel like drag and burlesque kind of go hand in hand because it really takes a different element. And if, like you said, anybody can do burlesque. And if a drag queen wants to kind of come and learn and do something a little more sensual, get in touch with their own body, let them. Because, I mean, I love Darby Doll so much because she really takes the art of burlesque and welcomes everyone, men, women, drag queen, transgender people. She really creates a safe space for entertainers to come out and kind of just feature their personalities.
No, she really does, and I've been so appreciative of that. And her taking me under her wing has really kind of helped as well. We host the monthly bingo, and she's taught me tips and tricks about hosting, about costuming, about hair, about people's attitudes in general, and just how to let things go. And it's been the biggest help because for the longest time I couldn't let things go, and I was a pretty public person, and I'd call you right out right there. And I've learned to bite my tongue, hold it back, become a little more regal, not completely like come across me, I'm gonna slap a hoe if she disrespects, but no,
Honey,
like
you have to show those bitches that if they cross you, you're gonna freaking smack them across the face. Otherwise, they're gonna use you left and right.
right. No, you have to put some kind of sign out there saying don't mess with me, but I'm going to be a genuine nice person.
Yes. And that's words to live by. No one's like gonna love a bitchy queen. They want someone with a good heart that they don't feel comfortable talking to and getting to know. Now, Ren, do you feel like doing burlesque has added any elements to your drag persona that's helping you in the drag world?
Yeah, it's gotten me really good at doing reveals. That's like one of my favorite things to do on stage is go from one outfit to a completely different outfit and just blow people's minds. So I think that's really gotten me prepared for that. It's also I've learned that there's certain points in your music that you really need to like hit, and there's some that you could just kind of let go. And so it's helped me discover more about ballads. I'm not really a ballad queen, but it's taught me the grace of a slower song. It's also taught me how to shake my hips, girl, like Shakira. My hips don't lie.
Yes, queen. I love it. It's all about entertaining the audience, having fun, and making a relatable performance because we want the audience to relate to us because it gives them a almost that opportunity to live life through our shoes, even if it's just for a moment.
Right, and I got a lot of shoe to fill, size 13 heels.
Oh, could you just imagine the manhood with that? Oh,
You know what they say about big shoes?
I
Wear
do.
big socks.
Big socks and big gloves. Well, has burlesque helped Ren get more comfortable with being sexy?
It really has. It's hard because if you're not comfortable in your boy body, you're not going to be comfortable in your girl body.
Uh-huh.
And so you really have to learn how to find what works for you. Not everyone likes big breasts. Not everyone likes exaggerated hip. Not everyone's gonna want a big lip. So there's things that you have to learn, and I feel like burlesque has really helped me with that because I get down to the nitty gritty when I do that, and it's you can't have seams showing. You can't have socks in your chest.
I feel very attacked right now.
Sorry.
Well, it's cool, girl. I love it. So now on the other side of the spectrum, I mean, again, you've done burlesque and you do the sexiness and you create this little sex kitten. You also have this other side of your persona where it's very regal, very glamorous. And that's the side where you actually do a lot of court related work and you actually have a title. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your title?
Yeah, so I'm Miss Gay Emerald Empire. I was supposed to be it for 2019, 2020, but with COVID-19, my step down that was supposed to happen next weekend has been canceled. So I will be giving you guys another year. And so my step down will be in May of 2021, 731 days as a consecutive title holder.
Hey, bitch,
So
you're about to break a record.
I am about to break a record.
Well, I love it.
Call Guinness.
Tell me a little bit of what does doing charity work mean to you as a drag queen?
So in my normal life, I work in education. And so giving back in my normal life is something that I do constantly. I'm constantly giving back to the community. I'm constantly helping other people. And so I wanted to give my drag a purpose. Like I had a purpose. I had an ultimate goal. Make I want to make it comfortable for LGBTQ youth to express themselves. I feel like when I was younger, the only people I had were you and Britt, and so it was hard. It was really difficult, and I want to create a community where the youth feel like they're supported. And with doing the court stuff, it gave me a platform bigger than just my small community to be able to do that. It gave me a realm. It gave me 9 counties to be able to work and focus on and make a change in. And I performed in 5 of the 9 counties that we have during my time as the title holder. So I'm just trying to express myself in different ways, and I feel like the courts definitely allowed me to be able to do that.
Absolutely. I like the court system because it kind of gives you that boot camp effect where it allows, because you have to do so many shows so quickly, so often, it really allows you to master your drag, learn quickly how to dress, how to kind of style, and kind of play the part that they need you to play, incidentally. And it really helps you kind of polish your drag. Has that helped you at all at this point?
Yeah, it really has because, when you do a court show, you're surrounded by people who are so glamorous, so regal, so on top of their drag.
I know.
Their hair is big, their personalities are bigger, their dresses are even bigger than that. So you just learn so much when you're at a regular drag show, you're working with people who don't have as much experience in that, who haven't been able to travel unless they've made themselves known already. Like with the court, you get to travel. Like I've got to go to Portland. I've gotten to go to Salem. And those are just a few places that I've gotten to go and perform because I am a title holder. But it opens up so many different options for you, and it gives you, it's almost like a drag school because it gives you all these people who have been doing this for so long.
Absolutely. And
who are in the same shoes.
It's true, honey. And, you know, you get these queens who've been performing, such as like Daphne Bertha Storm, who's been performing since the fucking 80s. And you kind of get to sit down with her, chit chat, and she kind of gives you kind of a different perspective how to view drag and kind of what to do with your drag. So it really does help you, especially if you're a newer queen, because you're like, well, I should style my hair like this and I should do my makeup like that. And then maybe I should look into these kind of outfits.
Right. And when I stepped up, Daphne was actually given a title as well. It was all in fun and games at the beginning, but she's taught me so much over this past year. Like, if I'm doing something wrong, she is the first person to tell me I'm doing it wrong. Besides you, of course. But
I was gonna say, someone got there before me. I'm kind of insulted. Usually I'm very proud to be like, bitch, you're doing that so wrong. No.
So it's just been really nice to have that guidance from an older queen. Not everyone gets that, and it's truly made me respect them more.
Absolutely. Now, do you feel like being a title holder has helped your drag persona and kind of get in touch with your character, who you are?
Yeah, because now I have to host shows. Like, if I'm not funny or I'm not Ren all the time, people are going to clock me on that. Like, you're going to be clocked. You have to have a full character. If you don't have a full character, then why even go onto the stage? And I've learned that at the beginning of my drag career. I thought, okay, a little subtle eye makeup and a wig that kind of looked like my real hair is going to be good enough. But it's more than that. It's about embodying a character. And like I said before, Aaron and Renegade are two different people. Aaron talks like this, while Renegade has this high voice, you know? And like, Aaron works at a school, while Renegade is kind of promiscuous and doesn't give two craps. So it's yes, definitely helped me build my character more. It's made me feel more comfortable on stage, and just as a queen in general, like, it's given me so much more to look forward to in the future that I can't not smile when I talk about it.
Yes, absolutely. Now, how do you like kind of getting in touch with your more formal side of your drag persona?
In the beginning, it was really hard. It was hard for me. Like I said, I started out doing theater, and that's kind of where I got the drag bug. And so, being regal is some real business. Because you have to have the nails, you have to have the jewelry, you have to have, your makeup has to be on point, your eyebrows have to match, your hair has to be up, you have to be wearing a gown that goes all the way to the floor, or else you're not wearing a ball gown. So, and it's all about shoes too. Like, you can't wear nude pumps with a black dress, and like, if you're wearing greens, wear your nude pumps, because those black shoes are going to kill your look. So being regal definitely has a time and a place, and I love doing it, don't get me wrong, but I like to be a little nasty too.
Don't we all? I mean, honey, you're talking to Bitchcock. I was able to be Empress and still maintain being a nasty, dirty bitch.
This is...
She's like, whatever.
Take the words right out of my mouth.
Well, you know, I don't think you have to compromise who you are as a drag character to take a title. If you're, like yourself, kind of a sexual, kind of loud character, you shouldn't have to compromise that to be able to do charity work and take a title. you should be able to represent that title being true to who you are. And I'm completely a full supporter of that.
And I have been, like, and a lot of people do tone it down or try to change for this look. And it's 2020. It's not 1960 anymore. We don't all have the same drag aesthetic. Like, even you and me who get compared to be similar, we are completely different queens.
Well, yeah, absolutely, Queen. We look nothing alike. And the only reason we keep getting compared to each other is you keep buying my outfits.
Ha ha ha!
Bitch.
You said you wanted this one?
Well, I'm happy I don't have that, but I might want it. You know, I might have you send that one to me when you're done with it. Yes. So, honey, why don't you tell us a little? You mentioned that Corona has severely affected your title and has made you actually have to take it another year. I mean, I know that wasn't what you were expecting, but like, are you kind of excited to have another year under your belt to kind of do even more with your title?
I am, because it's going to give me a chance to really push for what I wanted to get done and didn't have enough time to. Your year goes by so fast, and I feel like a lot of people don't understand that 365 days is exactly that, 365 days. And you
Right.
can have plans to change the world, but not all of your plans are going to fall through. And so having this extra year really gives me a chance to hone in and get to those other places that I haven't been yet within our realm and make better lasting relationships with other people. So
I agree. And you know, that was probably my favorite thing about being Empress was getting these close relationships with a lot of these other queens from other realms. I was able to create a close sisterhood with Miss Kimberly Michelle Westwood. I got to know Miss Sunshine Ray McPherson very closely. And I also got to kind of know some of the older queens within both of those communities, such as Salem and Portland, like Ariel Doll and Miss Monica Boulevard, who've really been paving the way for us younger queens to kind of do what we're doing.
right.
So, Ren, oh goodness. So, what do you think separates you from other drag queens?
What separates me from other drag queens? Okay. I'm a loudmouth. I'm 7 feet tall in a pair of high heels. I am from a small town, so I have to work harder, and I feel like me being a newer queen and working harder has given me a little bit of respect from some of the queens. Maybe not their full respect, but enough to know that I'm pretty serious about what I do to get bookings in other places. Like,
Yeah, you know, I mean, just a little, like like just a little respect because we don't want to give too much to you. Otherwise, you little queens, you get your head all big. And no, bitch, you're fucking fabulous and you know it.
I try.
Well,
I may not be there yet, but I'm getting there.
but you know, that's the thing to understand. Is it not going to happen overnight, and you can't expect people to see that overnight anyway, because you're going to keep evolving, and people are sometimes going to be like, well, that's still little renegade from Southern Oregon, and they're going to have a hard time seeing that evolution until you're like, wham, bam, this is, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I've done that, I can look like this, I can look like that, and I just stole your man. Sorry.
Right. I could take your man if I want to.
Damn right, bitch. Now, a little birdie told me that along with some other amazing community members, such as myself, you were actually featured in an amazing music video from the one and only slut Tasia for a fabulous song that she calls Rainbow. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, I
experience.
enjoyed that very much. Working with Latasha is just such a joy. She embarks drag. Like, everything that you want to see in a queen, Latasha gives you. She gives you the show, she gives you the personality, she gives you the hair, she gives you the moves, she can fucking sing. And
Yeah.
so when she asked me, will you be in my rainbow video? I was like, yes, of course I will. I'd be stupid if I didn't do it. And then I got a chance to work with some of the best queens that Eugene not only has to offer, but the whole Pacific Northwest has to offer was highlighted in that video. So that alone, on top of doing this interview, has just made me feel so special as a performer. And I'm glad that I'm finally starting to get noticed because, bitch, it took a long time to get here.
Well, honey, I felt like it literally took me 15 years for people to actually start taking me seriously. So, again, just keep owning yourself, show them how much you can shine, and if anyone doubts you, work even fucking harder.
Right.
Now, Ren, what did it mean to you to be able to be featured in things and projects such as the Rainbow music video and maybe any other little projects that may be happening in the future? I mean, does it mean anything to you that these queens are thinking, hey, Ren, you're a talented queen. Do you want to work with me?
It really means the world to me because, like I said, drag to me is more than just a hobby. It's something that I like to engulf myself in. And getting noticed by other queens has been remarkable. Like, working with you and working with Slatasha and working with Darby and working with whoever else I'm going to work with in the future. It's just been such an amazing ride. And, like, I really can't even grasp it sometimes because it's all happening, I feel like, relatively fast, but then I think back, it's already been a year since I've gotten my title. It's already been a year of me being in the spotlight with my protesters and starting my own shows and really proving that I can do things.
Absolutely, my love. Now, how do you feel like Ren has evolved within these last 4 years?
I feel like I'm a little more slutty. I'm a little more confident. I'm definitely more confident. I feel like I have a better sense of who I am and of what people want from me. You're kind of like a puppy the first few times you do drag. Like, your eyes aren't quite open yet and your ears aren't quite open yet and you're kind of just fumbling around and getting the feel for things. And I feel like I've gotten that. My eyes are open, my ears are open, I'm able to walk, and I'm here to slay. And people better watch out because this Southern Oregon queen's gonna rise above you, rise above it, rise above you, rise above. I have things in the works, and I am not stopping anytime soon.
Well, I agree with everything but one of those things you said. You said you're going to rise above me. Bitch, back the fuck off. No rising above the bitchcock. I'm magic. I'll cut your fucking face.
You were my empress, so.
I was your empress, and I also know all your dirty secrets. So,
Ooh, it's like laundry.
well, my love, tell us a little bit. What is something people should ultimately know about Renegade at this point?
Something that people should ultimately know about Renegade is that I genuinely love what I do. I wouldn't do it if I didn't. I want to be a positive role model for other people, and I want to show that my art is creative and that I deserve the respect that other queens are getting, even though I'm from Southern Oregon, and even though I don't do a show every day, and even though I'm new to the scene, we all start somewhere, baby.
Absolutely, Ren. And it means a world to hear that you're willing to fight for it and work for it because that's what you have to do in this day and age. And as long as you have that same mentality, you're going to go very far in this drag world. Now, Ren, what can we expect next from you once we open up out of quarantine? I know you've mentioned you have a couple of shows and a few shows that might be opening up. What can we expect from you?
So, my monthly shows will start back up, my brunch show will start up, and then I'll be back on the road. Hopefully the courts will start doing more things starting probably January, because a lot of courts are closed until the new year, because we want to give people a chance to work on themselves and get themselves back in a better place before we start giving again. And we're still giving, and we're still doing fundraisers online and stuff, but before we do a physical show. And so I'm going to be working on that, planning fundraisers and working on my other shows. Also, who knows, maybe I'll do another music video. Maybe I'll come out with my own music.
Oh, girl. Well, if you want to do a duet, we can totally collaborate. Bitch talk, bitch talk. She's like, bitch, absolutely not.
Bitchcock on the TikTok.
Well, speaking of Bitchcock, you have known this crazy bitch for too many years. Do you have any fun or crazy stories for being able to work with me?
Well, that one time behind a dumpster, no, at the McDonald's.
Wait, was that you?
Yes. I remember that one fairly well. We've got to do a bunch of fun things together. We've got to perform in Southern Oregon together. We've got to perform in Eugene together. Truly, like this past year, our relationships really got to blossom, and I'm so honored to even be considered one of your friends, because it was kind of rocky at first. It's hard when you're competing against each other at something that not very many people do down here. Like, I could count the amount of drag queens on my hand that live in Southern Oregon, and it's hard. So yeah, a little bit of cattiness comes out, and a little bit of animosity almost, jealousy. And so being able to mature in not only my drag, but in my regular life too, and to build a new relationship with you has just been incredible.
Well, absolutely, honey. I mean, again, it is hard to see a queen that you've watched, you literally watched me from the beginning and step up. And then when you're coming into the drag scene, it's kind of hard to be able to watch that, because you're like, I kind of want that, but I know that bitch earned it. But you know, you get past that. You keep just fighting for your own things that you want to do within your career. And look at you now. You're at the same, well, semi same level as me. I'm still a little higher just because, hey. No, I'm joking. I'm no better than anyone else in the drag scene. We're all men.
Well, your older sister. No, I'm just...
You're fucking evil. You're canceled. Cancel, that's right. Turn this episode off right now. This
COVID already canceled me.
Well, I fucking love you. We're almost done with your interview, actually, Miss Ren Agade. Now, tell me, what did you think about your experience on Bitch Talk with Bitchcock?
It was actually a lot of fun. At first, I was really nervous about coming on here. You know, I've saw some bigger names, like Kimberly Michelle Westwood, and Angel Phoenix has been on, and shit, after me is Monique LaFay. Okay, yeah. So I was honestly nerve-wracked because I didn't know what to expect. I don't talk about myself in drag a lot. I'm more of a back in the dressing room until I'm on stage kind of girl, until I'm drunk, and then I'll come out and steal your man, grind, get a lap dance in. But so I was afraid that I wouldn't have a lot to talk about, or that it would get kind of dull, and
I would never let that happen to you. And you know,
but it's been a joy. It's been so fun.
Absolutely.
If you aren't on the list, get on the list.
Absolutely. And you know, the thing is, this platform is for everyone. It's not for new queens. It's not for polished queens. It's not even for fucking just drag performers. It's for all performers who want to be featured and tell a little bit of what their life as a performer is. So I feel like even as a newer queen, your story is just as valid as someone like Angel Phoenix or Monique LaFay. So I don't think at all bringing you into this interview, I thought it was going to be boring at all. For one, it's my job to make it interesting. And two, I mean, I know you've done a lot, bitch. So I was very thrilled to come and bring you on my show. And you know what? Never let anyone question you why you're being featured on in shows or on talk shows or in music videos, because bitch, you deserved it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that coming from you.
Absolutely, my love. Now, with all that said, you did survive the main interview of Bitch Talk with Bitchcock, and I'm so happy that you did. Now, boys and girls and all of those in between, if you've also enjoyed this episode, please make sure to look within the description where you can find the PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App information so you can tip either me or the one and only Renegade for showing a little appreciation for spilling all the tea and putting all this work into this fantastic interview. I'm really excited because my next special guest is coming up this Friday. As Ren said, my little secret, I have the one and only Monique LaFay joining me for episode 26 of Bitch Talk with Bitchcock. And she's going to be joining me all the way from fucking Texas. Now, if you don't know this queen, she's all about glamour and pageantry, and she is going to have so much shit to tell us. So make sure to tune in this Friday. In the meantime, Ren, we did finish the main interview. Do you want to play a little game with me?
Oh, sure. Let's play.
Well, fantastic. Do you have any alcohol over there?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, perfect. We're going to play a little Bitch Talk with Bitchcock favorite that we like to call Truth or Drink. And what this is going to happen is we're going to ask a series of shady questions. And you're going to either have the option to answer truthfully or take a drink. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm pretty honest, so I probably won't drink very much.
Well, that's what you usually say in the bar. We all know that's not true.
I'm like a bitch at the bar.
You slut. Well, for round one, have you ever had a crush on another drag queen?
I have. Yes, definitely. They're pretty. And some of them aren't that bad looking out of drag either. So it's easy to develop a crush, especially if you work with someone for a long time, like you guys are in a recurring cast together. It just, what you can't have makes heart grow fonder.
Oh, girl, we'll spill a name.
I don't kiss and tell, but they know who they are.
Bitch, you didn't kiss them yet, so you can fucking tell.
Okay, yes I have.
Oh, well then take that shot, bitch. Yes. So perfect. Then for round two, in your opinion, who is the shadiest queen you've worked with?
Ooh, shadiest in like a good way or a bad way? Because I think I have one for each. But I mean, no disrespect to either one of these people. So in a good way, my shadiest queen that I've worked with is probably Stephanie. She is quick-witted and can drop a pen on a dime. Like, so she's probably the best shadiest queen that I've worked with. The worst shadiest queen that I've worked with is it's someone that I love. So I don't want to hurt their feelings, but I have a great deal of respect for this person, and we've had our own hardships, and I love them. I even asked them to be one of my special guests in my step down, and I'm going to have to say Diva Disaster. I love her to death. Don't get me wrong. I do love her, and she is quite good at throwing shade. Always? No. Am I always good at throwing it? No. Right now I'm probably putting my foot in my mouth, eating it. Oh, your eyes look beautiful.
Oh,
but no, that's who it is. And people came to watch. People came for the tea. And so I'm going to give them their shady questions, their shady answers.
Oh my. Ah! 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 That was some tea! Yes! Well, Diva Disaster, please don't put any death threats out there. You know you're a shady bitch. Well, I love it. Okay. For round 3, has Renegade ever hooked up with a lovely person at a drag show?
Um, I guess I kind of answered this with the first, so my drag crush, it kind of proceeded after the show. But with an audience member, no, I don't want to have any kind of relations in drag. My hoo-ha isn't even functional in drag, so it's no enjoyment for me.
Oh. Oh
I've
my
been bottoming myself all night.
Oh my
Like,
god.
it's just,
But it sounds like you actually have kai-kai'd with another queen. Oh, good.
ooh. Yes, I have. Not
Oh.
against a Kai Kai.
Okay, well, tell me about the worst performance flop that may have ever happened to you, Renegade. Now, performance flops are where your boob fell out, your wig fell off, or you may have just fell on your face.
Okay, so I don't know if a lot of people recall, but about 4 months ago, I was on crutches because I did a show on New Year's and I was on top of a table dancing my little heart out. I kicked my foot to the left and it kicked up a bottle or a cup of booze at me and hit me in my face. And then I lost my balance. So like I tried to catch myself in a jump down and I landed wrong. So that's probably my biggest oops.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
or that time that Kimberly Michelle Westwood spit a whole bunch of alcohol in my face.
Wait, what?
It was like Gay Salem. She was drinking something. One of the other judges next to her said something funny, and some alcohol was spit from her mouth onto my freshly made face.
Oh my god.
I don't
The
even think she
shade.
necessarily knows that happened, but it happened.
Well, perfect, girl. Well, you spilled all the shade and really took not that many drinks. Well, at least that the audience saw. Well, are you ready for one more game?
Yeah. What's the other game?
Yes. Now that we got you all lubed up, we're going to play a little game that we like to call Marry, Kai Kai, or Cancel.
Ooh, Mary Kaka cancel. I
So,
think COVID
yeah.
canceled us all, but I think I'm ready.
Well, perfect, Queen. How this will work is I'll name 3 queens. And out of those 3 queens, you're going to have to name who you would marry, who you would fuck, and who you would cancel. So this is a great opportunity to try to figure out who you're kai-kaiing.
You'll
So,
figure it out.
yes, out of round 1, we have the one and only Queen of Hair, Lilac. The Empress of a Decade, Kimberly Michelle Westwood, and the Queen of Rap, Slutasia.
Okay, so I could Kai cancel or what?
Kai Kai, marry, or cancel.
Okay, so I'd Kai with Lilac because we're around the same age. I feel like we could have a really good conversation and then some really good fun times. I'd probably marry Kimberly and Michelle because she's got some money. And then who was the last option? Because I'd cancel them. I don't even remember.
Well, it's Slutasia, and that's not going to end well for you in the future.
I love her. Sorry, Slutty.
Slutasia, if you're watching this, Renegade just canceled you, girl. I want to hear all about this.
I'm not the first. I'm not the first. And not the last.
No. And now for round 2, we have some of your favorite court queens, including the one and only Salem Queen, Mulan, the beautiful Empress, Sunshine Ray McPherson, and the bitch from Washington, Stephanie A. Mercury. experience.
Okay, so I Kai with Stephanie.
Yes.
Who are the other two? So I had Stephanie.
We had Sunshine Ray McPherson and Mulan.
Ooh. Sorry, Mulan. I'm gonna have to cancel you.
Oh, just a nasty canceling
So I'm
bitch.
marrying Sunshine.
So you're gonna marry Sunshine, cancel Mulan, and completely fuck Stephanie. It's sexy. I love it. Well, perfect. For round 3, we're going to take it home to your Southern Oregon sisters. We have the one and only Diva Disaster, the very own Fake It Nightly, and because I'm a raging bitch, Maliena Bitchcock.
Okay, so we'll Kai with Faye because she doesn't hate me after this interview. We'll marry Diva because I'm gonna need a lot of brownie points and have to cook in the kitchen. And then, bitch, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to cancel you because I need those brownie points.
Well, speaking of county points and speaking of canceling, there's no need to wait for this episode to get posted up because, bitch, you're canceled.
You wanted the tea. I'm giving the tea.
Bitch, you're supposed to lie. This is my show. Well, we'll see what shows you get canceled from in the near future. For the last round of Mary Kai or Cancel, we have Daphne Bertha Storm, Calliope, and Nikki Serene Storm.
I'd marry Calliope because I'm already her drag wife. Just for Daphne's little heart, I'd Kai with Daphne. Just so you know. Miss Bertha, I'm ready for the storm.
Ready to birth the storm.
And then, Nikki, I don't know you too well. I love working with you. So that one was a trick question. But I'm going to have to cancel you, Nikki. Sorry.
I hate to tell you this, but they're all trick questions. The correct answer is Maliena Bitchcock is amazing.
Oh, well, I failed that portion.
We fail most things, so it's okay. Well, I'm still happy that you came on the show and spilled all the tea, even though I'm going to have to cancel this show completely because you fucking think you can cancel my ass. But, bitch, thank you again for coming on Bitch Talk with Bitchcock. I love having you on here. For our next episode, please tune in this Friday as we feature episode 26 and bring all the way from Texas the one and only Monique LaFay. This bitch is so going to spill so much tea about the pageant life and really show you what drag is. So again, if you've been enjoying this episode with the one and only Ren Agade, please look in the description where you can find her PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App to tip her a little something extra as appreciation to this fabulous interview. Again, Renegade, thank you so much for coming on my show.
Thank you for having me, and I hope you have a great night. And Monique, slay it, bitch!
Absolutely. Well, all you boys and girls and all those in between, I hope you are enjoying this episode and staying safe during these hard times where the world is just at chaos. So stay at home, enjoy an episode of Bitch Talk with Bitchcock, and I will see you this Friday. Again, I love you all, and I will see you soon. Mwah.